Hey, we're back. We're back for reading number 7, aren't we? Yeah, we're back for reading number 7. And the exciting thing in the last reading was Ruby arrived. And I'm still baffled as to why Stella was so angry, that Ruby came. And then Stella wound up helping Ruby. So that's still a mystery to me. There's a lot of reasons why she could have been angry. And you'll want to talk about those with your class. Well, today we're going to find out more probably about what's happening with poor little Ruby, who sounds like she's had a hard life, poor thing. And so we're reading this animal story. Usually animal stories are happy. And I hope you've had some good class discussions about whether you think it's happy or not, and what part's happy and what's maybe not. And that's kind of life. Life isn't always happy, but there's good things about life too. And that might be another theme. There's so many themes that pop up in good books, and we'll find out what they are, won't we, Roxy? Yeah, we will. So here we go. Reading 7 in The One and Only Ivan by Catherine Applegate. So the first subtitle is called Old News. Old news. When Julia comes, she sits by Stella's domain and watches the new baby. She barely talks to me. Stella doesn't talk to me either. She's too busy nuzzling Ruby. She is cute, little Ruby, with her ears flapping like palm leaves, but I'm handsome and strong. Bob trots a circle around my belly before settling down in just the right spot. Give it up, Ivan, he says. Oh, you're old news. Wow. So that's what old news meant. Ivan is old news. Julia gets out a piece of paper and a pencil, and I can see that she is drawing Ruby. I move to the corner of my domain to pout. Bob grumbles. He doesn't like it when I disrupt his naps. Homework, Julia's father scolds. Julia sighs and puts her drawings aside. I grunt, and Julia glances in my direction. Poor old Ivan, she says. I've been ignoring you, haven't I? I grunt again, a dignified, indifferent grunt. Julia thinks for a moment and then smiles. She walks down over to my domain to the spot in the corner where the glass is broken, and she slides papers through. She rolls a pencil across the cement floor. You can draw the baby elephant too, Julia says. I bite the pencil in half with my magnificent teeth, and then I eat some paper. He's still ticked, isn't he? Yep, he is. The next subtitle is called Tricks. Even after Julia and her father leave, I try to keep sulking, but it's no use. Gorillas are not by nature pouters. Stella, I call. It's a full moon. Do you see? Sometimes when we're lucky, we catch a glimpse of the moon through the skylight in the food court. I did, Stella says. She's whispering, and I realize Ruby must be asleep. Is Ruby all right, I ask. She's too thin, Ivan, Stella says. Poor baby. She's in that truck for days. Mac bought her from a circus the same way he bought me, but she hasn't been there long. She was born in the wild, like us. Will she be okay, I ask? Stella doesn't answer my question. The circus trainers chained her to the floor, Ivan, all 4 feet, 24 hours a day. I puzzle over why this would be a good idea. I always try to give humans the benefit of the doubt. Why would they do that, I finally ask? To break her spirit, Stella says, so she can learn to balance on a pedestal, so she can stand on her hind legs, so a dog can jump on her back while she walked in mindless circles. I hear her tired voice and I think of all the tricks Stella has learned. Wow, that was why it was called Tricks. That was sad. The next subtitle is called Introductions. When I wake up the next morning, I see a little trunk poking out between the bars of Stella's domain. Hello, says a small, clear voice. I'm Ruby. She waves her trunk. Hello, I say. I'm Ivan. Are you a monkey? Ruby asks. Certainly not, says Ivan. Bob's ears perk up, although his eyes stay closed. He's a gorilla, he says, and I'm a dog of uncertain heritage. Why did the dog climb your tummy? Ruby asks. Because it's there, Bob murmurs. Funny. Not because it's warm or soft, no, because it's there. Is Stella awake, I ask. Aunt Stella's asleep, Ruby says. Her foot is hurting, I think. Ruby turns her head. Her eyes are like Stella's, black and long-lashed, bottomless lakes fringed by tall grass. When is breakfast, she asks. Soon, I say, when the mall opens and the workers come. Where? Ruby twists her head in the other direction. Where are the other elephants? It's just you and Stella, I say, and for some reason, I feel we have let her down. Are there more of you? Not, I say, at the moment. Ruby picks up a piece of hay and considers it. Do you have a mom and dad? Well, I used to. Everyone has parents, Bob explains. It's unavoidable. Before the circus, I used to live with my mom and my aunts and my sister and my cousins, Ruby says. She drops the hay, picks it, and twirls it. They're dead. I don't know what to say. I'm really not enjoying this conversation, but I can see that Ruby isn't done talking. And to be polite, I say, sorry to hear that, Ruby. Humans killed them, she says. Who else, Bob says. And we all fall silent. The next subtitle is called Stella and Ruby. All morning, Stella strokes Ruby, pats her, smells her. They flap their ears. They rumble and roar. They sway as if they're dancing. Ruby clings to Stella's tail. She slips under Stella's belly. Sometimes they just lean into each other, their trunks twirled together like jungle vines. Stella looks so happy. It's more fun to watch than any nature show I've ever seen on TV. The next subtitle is called Home of the One and Only Ivan. George and Mac are out by the highway. I can see them through one of my windows. They are next to each other on tall wooden ladders, leaning against the billboard that tells cars to stop and visit the one and only Ivan, mighty silverback. George has a bucket and a long-handled broom. Mac has pieces of paper. He slaps one against the billboard, and George dips the broom in the bucket. He wets the paper with the liquid from the bucket, and somehow the paper stays in place. They put up many pieces before they're done. And when they climb down from the ladders, I see that they've added a picture of a little elephant on the billboard. The elephant has a lopsided smile. She's wearing a red hat, and her tail curls like a pig's. And she doesn't look like Ruby. She doesn't even look like an elephant. I've only known Ruby one day, and I could have drawn her better. Next subtitle is called Art Lesson. Ruby asks a lot of questions. She says, Ivan, why is your tummy so big? And have you seen a green giraffe? And can you get me some of those pink clouds the humans are eating? When Ruby asks, what's that on your wall? I explain, that's a jungle. She says, the flowers have no scent, and the waterfall has no water, and the trees have no roots. I am aware of that, I say. It's art. A picture made with paint. Do you know how to make art? Ruby asks. Yes, I do, I say, and I puff up my chest just a little. I've always been an artist. I love drawing. Why do you love it? Ruby asks. I pause. I never talked to anyone about this before. When I'm drawing a picture, I feel quiet inside. Ruby frowns. Quiet is boring. Not always. Ruby scratches the back of her neck with her trunk. What do you draw anyway? Bananas mostly, things in my domain. My drawings sell at the gift store for $25 a piece with a frame. What's a frame? Ruby asks. What's $1? What's a gift store? I close my eyes. I'm a little sleepy, Ruby. Have you ever driven a truck, Ruby asks. I don't answer. Ivan, Ruby asks, can Bob fly? A memory flashes past, surprising me. I think of my father, snoring peacefully under the sun while I try every trick to wake him. Perhaps I realize he wasn't such a sound sleeper after all. Ooh, you'll want to talk about that with your class. That is the end of reading 7. Whoa, that was kind of a good one. Love it.